Hi, Leo. Welcome to your January 2024 tarot reading. We're going to shuffle these a little bit um, just to kind of get the energy moving through them. I usually shuffle and cleanse them before each reading, and I cleaned them this morning, but I just want to give them a little shuffle. I hope you guys are doing well. Um, January is really interesting energy. Looking through the astrology, so we have Mercury went retrograde the 1st, so that's fantastic. And we'll also have Uranus stationed direct in your 6th house. So you're really going to, I'm sorry, not in your 6th house. That's not right at all, Betsy. I was like, wait a second, that doesn't sound right at all. Uranus is stationed in your 10th house direct. So changes, a lot of changes when it comes to your public life and your career, but every planet will be direct from January, the end of January 20, I think it's the 23rd. I don't remember, I'll have to look it back again, but the end of all the planets will be direct until April. So we'll have this forward momentum moving through the rest of winter and spring. Pluto moves into Aquarius as well in January in your 7th house. So if you guys would like to get the full astrology for January, including your rising sign, you can get all of that stuff over on my Patreon. Let's see. Leo, sun, moon, and rising. Okay. So I feel like you're kind of like rushing into January. Um, and it looks a lot like you're kind of holding on to some things because I feel like those were the things that they kind of once defined your abundance, and now they don't define your abundance anymore. We got this really cool new toy. I forgot to tell you about my background. And I wanted to use it just to kind of like bring a calm, serene mood to January because it's a little crazy. But with this Wheel of Fortune energy, there's going to be a lot of shifts with Uranus turning direct, with all of the planets direct. There's this shift that's happening with the energy. And all of the things that we did while Uranus was direct, all of the little things we said or actions we took or whatever it was that we manifested really while Uranus was direct, there are a lot of changes that could happen based on those like little tiny things. It's like the little threads that we weave through our lives, and then the changes that happen, the planets work with us through that. We have the Knight of Swords was the first card that came out, Leo. And then we have the Four of Pentacles, and we have the Ten of Pentacles. And on the bottom row, we have the Five of Pentacles. We have the High Priestess. Got a lot going on here. We have the Temperance. And we have the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. So this really feels like, and it almost feels rushed, maybe even like you feel kind of aggravated, even in a way. It feels very aggravating somehow. But Four of Pentacles and Ten of Pentacles, it feels like, so the Ten of Pentacles is about our total abundance. feeling safe, having our life and just everything, a total abundance, right? Foundation, all of that, the safe foundation. And I feel like because this is a 10 of Pentacles, this is what your foundation, this is like you're holding on to an old foundation. And I feel like in a way with the 5 of Pentacles, it's like the lack mentality, the tenseness of having to hold on to this and the lack mentality. This could also be very real Pentacles, monetary, but it's almost like you're holding on to the old way of making money, or the old way of what money was supposed to look like for you, or the old way that money is supposed to be utilized for you. We don't often think about it, but as humans, we are very wasteful. Like, I'm even in that category. Like, I'm not trying to get on everybody else about it without taking accountability to myself. I can be very wasteful too. And I try not to be. I try to be a very minimal person in my life, but I can be very, because I like the finer things. I like nice things, right? I don't want to, there's certain there's certain things, comforts, creature comforts is what I call them in my life, right? But humans can be very wasteful. And so often we don't realize that we're being wasteful until we get to that point to where we're in survival mode. And we don't remember the satiating feeling of like having all of our needs met, right? Because all of our needs came and went, and now we don't have our needs met anymore. And so there's this kind of patience and allowance and knowing and faith as we're moving forward. We have the High Priestess, we have Temperance, and then we have the Ace of Pentacles. I'm going to clarify these as well, guys. These are a lot of cards out here. But I feel like there's this amount of patience that the universe, that source, that the divine is asking for you to have with yourself. I feel like the choices and decisions that you have coming up for your future. And temperance isn't just about being patient, it's also about a balance, right? Using your logical third eye intuition, and also using your knowing emotional gut intuition. We have two minds, right? We have our gut intuition and we have our third eye intuition, two minds. Knight of Swords. And here's the thing, is if you're trying to rush through something, if you're trying to rush past something, if you're trying to make something happen, force something to happen, you may totally miss the gift. You may totally miss the blessing, right? And so it's really about having faith in the unknown and recognizing that you don't have to rush to do anything. You don't have to force anything. A lot of this, a lot of the stuff that goes on in your own mind is a product of your own imagination, the fear that you've had from the past. Now is now is the time to change those choices and decisions you make, so that the future can look different than the past. We have the Hanged Man here. So a lot of pause and reflection for January. This is really what's going to bring your answers to you. Having faith and stillness, and not trying to like rush forward and force anything. Like I said, 4 of Cups on the Knight of Swords. If you're going quickly, if you're rushing, if you're arguing, if you are trying to do things so too fast, you're going to miss out on the universe trying to offer you some blessings there. We have a water sign, Queen of Cups on the 4 of Pentacles. Are you trying to hold on to a Pisces or a Cancer energy? Maybe even a Scorpio? Are you trying to hold on to Is this a person that you thought was going to be your happily ever after, and you are recognizing, oh, wow, that foundation is a lot more cracked than I thought it was? We can work on relationships until we're blue in the face, but at the end of the day, if the relationship is not meant to be, you're going to always be working on it. You're going to constantly be working on the relationship if it's not meant to be. Always. Five of Wands, this is what I mean. On the Ten of Pentacles, you're like, why do I always constantly have to fight through my life? Why do I always well, you're kind of fighting against your future abundance by holding on to your past abundance, because the past abundance came into our lives for a reason. It's the same thing with lessons. When we get abundance, that teaches us as well, and it helps us to evolve and grow when we receive abundance. But so do challenges. And so does losing the abundance. Because when we lose the abundance and we grow and we learn and we become a different person, we learn that we want different a type of abundance, right? Sometimes that doesn't happen and sometimes it does. And sometimes the person that you're with wants the same type of change and growth, and sometimes they don't, right? So I feel like you're almost arguing with yourself, like, why do I not get to just keep what I want to keep? Why can't I just have what I want to have? Well, because of this. Because it creates a heaviness on you, Leo. Because it doesn't really make you feel good about yourself to hold on to this stuff. The energy is old. The energy is no longer aligned to the energy frequency you're in now. And that's how life works. That's how life happens. You can call it a separation. You can call it a breakup. You can say that you were fired. You can say that you were, that you were just done with that life. But everything is temporary. And for you, when we don't realize when something is temporary and we just continue to hold on to it, it kind of breaks our soul apart. It's like, that's not what our soul wants. Our soul doesn't want to hold on to things that aren't good for us, that are no longer there for the rest of our journey, that aren't supposed to be there because it's weighing us down, right? That 10 of Wands is like, you're almost done. We have two tens here, right? You're almost done with this part of the journey. And intuitively, excuse me, intuitively, even though you can't see where you're going and you can't see the destination, intuitively, right? The moon on the high, this is the same energy. The moon on the high priestess, same energy. You got to have faith. Just because you can't see where it's going. I know the heavy sighs. I apologize for that. Just catching my breath there. But that heaviness, right? And the not being able to see into where's the destination. And when you can't see, you overthink it. 8 of Swords on Temperance. That 8 of Swords is self-imposed imprisonment of the mind. So if you were to take the blindfold off, you could see that you don't have to stay in those swords. You don't have to keep yourself trapped in your own mind. You can actually release yourself, and you know how to release yourself. Surrender. 8 of Cups on the Ace of Pentacles. And the 8 of Cups is just detaching emotionally. That doesn't mean that you stop caring. It just means that you give it space. You detach and you give it space. Give what space? Why am I giving it space? You know, a lot of times when we think that we're really ready to do something, or when we're not ready to do something, when we're sitting here in this tense and restricted kind of energy, the best thing that we can do is, it's the one thing that we don't want to do, but it's the best thing that we can do for ourselves and for the situation, is to take a step back and let everything breathe. Right? Hanged Man. Five of Cups. Wheel of Fortune. The bottom of the deck and the Death card. We gotta talk about the Death card. Give yourself this opportunity to let go of whatever past grief you need to let go of. Let it breathe. And you're going to know when it's time to no longer grieve anymore, because the energy is going to shift, right? Wheel of Fortune. The energy will transmute. You will feel better. But you have to let yourself process it and grieve. Why? Why, you ask, Betsy? Why? Why do I have to do anything? You don't have to do anything, but it'll be better for you. You can open up the energy. And once you let yourself transmute that from an ending to a beginning, things will be a lot more clear for you, Leo. I love you guys. Take good care of yourselves. Thanks for hanging out with me. Have a wonderful January. I'll see you soon. Bye.